what up? It's your girl Bewitched Faun, coming in with episode 18 of Faun's Horror Corner, a series where I watch a random horror movie on Tubi and we talk about it. This week I watched The Werewolf of Washington from 1973. The description Tubi gave us was, things get hairy for a virile? I have actually never seen that word. Journalist bitten by a werewolf before his job as the US president's secretary starts, and the body count begins. So I went into this with fairly low expectations. The last werewolf movie we watched was pretty yikes, and it's a horror comedy, which are oftentimes very hit or miss, but its saving grace was that it was an older movie, and I do love me some older horror movies. So a few heads up before getting into it. Number one is your girl is really sick and has been coughing a lot, so if I sound rough, that's why. I'm trying my best. And number two is I don't know if the budget, the way it was filmed, or maybe it was just a bad port to digital. I don't know how it all works, but some scenes, especially dark nighttime scenes, are really fucking hard to see. So trust me when I say that if you can hardly see it, that I too can hardly see it. But with that all out of the way, let's get into the movie. We begin with Jack introducing himself. He was having an affair with the president's daughter, and to avoid a scandal, he sent himself to Budapest. But the president didn't like that and offered him a job he couldn't refuse. And this is where we truly begin. He tells Giselle that he'll get her into America and get her a job so she can join him. They're on the road and there's some dipshit in the middle of the road on his bike. Jack swerves and steps out to cuss him out, but he's just standing there, menacingly. Jack tries to get moving again, but it's not starting. He apologizes to the man and explains that he needs to catch a plane, but he just walks away. More explaining, but now we meet this lady. They're struggling with a language barrier, creepy guys checking out Giselle, and the weird duo drive off. Giselle is left in the car and wolves are howling nearby. Jack is chatting with a local about where a gas station is. The local is trying to get Jack to come in and wait till tomorrow, and he keeps mentioning the moon. Jack makes his way back to the car and a wolf is very close and Giselle is gone. Jack is armed with a cane and he runs off. Giselle is looking bad and the wolf and Jack are having a fight. He is beating the shit out of the wolf and seems to have been bit. He's talking to a cop and explains the situation, but the cop just says it was a wolf. You didn't murder anyone. And they're offering to let the two go. Jack puts it together that he killed this lady's son, and she's chilling because he needed to die anyway. She mentions the sign of the pentagram and tells him that he's going to become a werewolf. She gives him a necklace and reminds him that a werewolf can only be killed with silver, and basically says good fucking luck and leaves. Jack flushes the charm down the fancy toilet and gets told that the president wants to see him. We're at a sick fucking party and now this lady is chatty as hell. Jack meets up with the president himself now and gives Jack the rundown of what his job entails. Right now, he needs to deal with Mrs. Captree, who's causing some problems. They join the party and greet Mrs. Captree, the chatty lady. Marion, the president's daughter, comes in now and talk continues. Mrs. Captree wants a piece of Jack and the moon is rising. Jack is simping for the president and his daughter, and she says, nah bro, I'm engaged. The full moon is nigh and Jack and Mrs. Captree are chatting. He looks at her hand and a pentagram appears, but she doesn't see it and she gets a smooch. There's someone strange lurking in the parking lot and Mrs. Captree is walking alone. A growl is heard nearby, but she's continuing her drunk walk. She screams as something approaches and that's all we got. This guy is having a bad day because network drama. This lady is walking with her groceries and screams at something. A call comes in and they're informed of the passing of Mrs. Captree. Guts ripped open and stuffed in a shopping cart. Jack and Marion have a chat. She mentions Mrs. Captree and some strange shoes at the scene of the crime, but the president is waiting and he's gotta go. It's a meeting with this lady. The president wants her paper to be more in his favor, and that's it. The president thanks her for sending Jack to Budapest and she says no, he did it for personal reasons, but he cool, he can come back anytime. Jack takes her hand and a pentagram starts forming. He's uncomfy and says his goodbyes until she says she'll go with him, and now she's taking her leave alone. Marion chases after him and wants to be friends, but Jack runs away and hides in his room. He tells her to go away and starts howling, and Marion takes her leave. The paper lady pulls up to this gas station, but this furry hitched a ride on top. She's weirded out and the werewolf starts growling and panting. She gets out and is face to face with him. She runs and screams and he chases after her. The door is locked unfortunately and he attacks her. Now we see the crime scene. Jack pulls up and witnesses say it was a werewolf. These two try to discredit the witnesses and now we meet them. They recount their story and this guy's trying to pin it on black people. And the witness gives us a perfect response back. An FBI agent will follow them for now and that's it. This guy talks to reporters and Jack tries to tell him to cool it the fuck down and shut up. Jack investigates his shoes in the bathroom, but the president is nearing and he has to hide, I guess. He has this cool trinket and he's chatting with this guy. He has to use the bathroom, but the door won't budge for some reason, so the president will help, but he can't get it either. The other guy goes into the next stall, but the president is determined, and we see Jack struggling for his life to stay hidden. The president admits defeat and will get the janitor on it. The two walk out and Jack comes out too, but the president is back as he forgot his trinket. Jack emerges again and is big time stressing. The silliness of the scene gave me the giggles. I really enjoy dumb humor like that. The president and Jack are chatting. Jack tries to say he's not feeling well and thinks he should be replaced, but the president loves him. He mentions the shoes, and apparently it's not manly to scratch your hands. You heard it here, folks. Jack ties the murders to himself and says he needs a guard, not the witnesses. The president loves Jack so much though, he wants Jack to work even more. Jack says he thinks he's a werewolf, and now the senator is here. The president shrugs it off, and here is Joan the senator. Jack says he's a murderer and killed someone last night. He's ranting to Dr. Salmon, and mentions turning into an animal. He says he's a werewolf, and Dr. Salmon thinks this is really silly and shrugs it all off. Now Jack is begging Salmon to join him in the bathroom to see a scar. But this is the 1970s. Salmon doesn't want to be caught in the bathroom with another guy. We're here anyway. Jack strips down completely shirtless and shows him the pentagram scar. Salmon is very unfazed though. He says, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but that doesn't work for Jack. But that's just too damn bad. Jack is calling a guy named Cliff. He's basically asking if his girl Giselle is a commie, I think. A call comes back and it's Marion. He's telling her about Salmon and their talk, but nighttime is here and he's feeling a bit strange. She wants to come over, but he ain't feeling right. But she'll come over anyway. And now his hand is hairy. Never mind, maybe don't come over. It's happening again. And now we see his gradual transformation into a werewolf. He starts fucking crawling around and having a wolf temper tantrum. This shit is so funny. We see the witnesses now. They want to take a walk, but the FBI agent is kind of cramping their style. And the girl wants to make a phone call. She's in the phone booth and her man is chilling nearby. After an actual phone call, she makes a prank call as the Werewolf of Washington. Her man checks in, but something is behind them. She screams. He's taking pictures and gets attacked, and she's in the phone booth, only able to watch, as he runs up and tries to get inside. He shakes it so much that it falls over, but he ain't done yet. He's prowling around the phone booth and is on top now. She's trapped inside and screaming, but a shot is heard and the werewolf is scared off. It's the FBI agent who saved the day. There's a press conference now, and it's about the mass hysteria surrounding these attacks. He is butchering the speech, by the way. They're holding the male witness in jail despite him being attacked himself. Jack gets up and walks out, and Marion is here. She tried to call again after Jack hung up, but he never answered, and now he's fucked up about it. The male witness has passed away now. Jack and the future president are chatting and bowling. I went bowling once when I was a teenager, and I was just fucking awful at it, dude. The president thinks Jack is being silly and isn't a werewolf. The ball disappeared, and it must be retrieved. Jack follows suit. Now they're both shimmying in the gutter. The president considers Jack to be his son, and he finds the ball. Jack starts talking about the full moon, but now it's time to go back, and they shimmy back some more. The president wants to bowl with Jack a bit. He grabs a ball and watches the president roll it. Now it's Jack's turn, but something is off. His fingers are thicker and are now stuck in the ball, and the president hasn't realized it and keeps urging him to roll it. Now he's behind him and is teaching him how to roll the ball. Fingers still very, very stuck. He finally tells the president that his fingers are stuck and it's because the moon is rising. He manhandles the ball and frees Jack's hand from it. Y'all, this scene gave me such a laugh. This was so fucking goofy. I loved it. Now we're at a big dick meeting and it's a whole lot of nothing. We aren't here for politics, we're here for werewolves. And Jack is having a bad time right now and isn't paying attention to the conversation. And now his hands are very hairy and he's hiding them. Jack is losing his cool and moves backwards towards the exit, opens the door and dips the fuck out. Now he's a werewolf let loose inside the White House, and he is on the move. This guy shoots, but it does nothing and Jack attacks him. On the move once more now. He's in this science place. Dr. Kiss walks over and is face to face with the werewolf. He doesn't seem to care though. He's chatting with him and is now giving him some pets and asking for his name. Oh, don't sniff his ass, please. Looks like Dr. Kiss has a big dog now. It's the next day and Jack wakes up in a cemetery, blood on his shirt. Jack is making a call. He's special ordering an emergency silver bullet for tonight. The werewolf is caught on camera and Dr. Kiss is showing the president. He doesn't want him destroyed, he wants him alive. Dr. Kiss recommends not letting word out about the werewolf. Only these two know about it anyway. Dr. Kiss enters the stall and the president is still chatting, but Dr. Kiss has completely disappeared somehow. What a magical little guy. Jack is chatting with these two and is showing them his conspiracy map. He's predicting the next murder. It's undeniable it's him doing it. He needs to be locked up tonight. It's not safe for him to be free. Salmon is setting up a time-lapse camera to watch Jack transform tonight for the sake of science. And Jack wants the TV on to watch the president's address tonight. Jack tells Salmon to pick up his cane and hit him with it like a freaky little fuck. Salmon tells him to cool it and says he'll return later. Flash forward, and Marion is visiting, and she's weirded out as Jack begs her to leave him alone and leave. But she doesn't understand clearly, and she's going to spend the night. He tells her about the gun next to the TV. It's loaded with one silver bullet, and tells her to take him out when he changes. She is so unfazed that she's making out with him now. She answers his phone. It's the president. He needs Jack's help tonight. There's an important meeting going on, and he really needs him. A chopper is on the way over right now, and we're going inside. The president chats with the Chinese prime minister in the meantime. Jack is awkwardly quiet and unresponsive, and I think it's making the prime minister uncomfy. Jack is beginning to transform now, and the prime minister is watching it happen, and he is not happy with what's unfolding. Jack is feral now. He gets up and everyone sees the werewolf. The president tries to talk some sense, but it's just pure chaos. The door of the helicopter is open, and all of these guys are witnessing the werewolf let loose, and it is still pure chaos for a while. Everyone is informed that it was Jack. The president apologizes and seems to pass out. Marion is in Jack's apartment right now, making the place very nice. Jack returns home. Marion turns around and sees the werewolf, and a chase around the room ensues. She enters the living room and grabs the gun, points, and shoots Jack with it. Werewolf assassinated. Others enter and see what's happened, and Jack is transforming back to himself now, everyone watching as he passes away. Marion isn't handling this very well, and she is removed from the scene. They're already planning the cover-up so they don't have to tell the public about a werewolf. He's going to get a hero's burial. He came between a sniper and the president's daughter. The president is going to be alright. He just has a little bite on the neck. We see the White House one last time with some howling, and that's it. That's the movie. Let's get into my afterthoughts. This was a crazy watch for sure. I went in with very low expectations, and what I got was a very silly werewolf movie that I had a lot of fun with. The humor was right up my alley, with some absolutely silly dumb shit that really gave me a good laugh. I only wish that some scenes were easier to see, but that's probably not the movie's fault. While there were definitely times where the story was a bit hard to follow along with, especially at the beginning, I still enjoyed this and its silliness. But let's get into my talking points. What did you think of the story? I thought it was kind of fun. I feel like modern movies, there isn't a ton of originality anymore, and the idea of a higher up in the White House being a werewolf was fairly unique, and the amount of cover-ups these fuckers had to do is probably very realistic. So all in all, I thought the story stood out and was unique and very fun. While it did have points where it felt a little hard to follow along, it wasn't that crippling, and it's also hard to say if it was the movie or because my brain isn't fully functioning because I am pretty sick too. What did you think of the ending? I mean, no complaints here at all. I think it was a perfect ending for it. Everyone realized Jack wasn't crazy, his reign of terror was ended, he's given a hero's burial so no one knows what actually went down, and his name isn't tarnished. And on top of it all, the fun isn't over because the president himself was bit. And I have never wished for a sequel to a movie more than I am right now, because that would be fucking hilarious. But I also respect them for not milking it out, so it's okay. Overall thoughts? Despite some of the movie being hard to see, this was still such a good time. I think the bowling scene might be my favorite, honestly. The silliness of the shuffling down the gutters and Jack's fingers getting stuck. I was having such a good time watching it. What a hidden old gem this is. Thank you for redeeming werewolf movies on my channel. Favorite kill? Well, we don't exactly see a ton of kills, which makes sense considering the movie is rated PG, so I think by default, Mrs. Captree gets best because we saw her stuffed in the shopping cart. Best and worst character? Best goes to Jack himself. What a fucking king. He was so fun, and you can really see his stress and tension when he was trying to explain to people what was going on. Worst character was that chunky racist guy for sure. As for the tier list, I think somewhere in the middle is a good spot for it, and I think I'll settle on C. And that's mainly because some chunks of the movie were particularly hard to see, which did knock some points off. It wasn't a top tier movie, but it also wasn't a bottom tier movie. So I think that C is a good fit for it. And for Character Hall of Fame, no one really stuck out to me to make it on, and that's okay. It was still an absolute blast and chaotic fun movie to watch. I definitely recommend getting some popcorn and watching this movie with some friends. Well, that's all I got. Thank you for watching if you're still here. I upload these every Saturday around 12 p.m. Eastern, as long as life doesn't get in the way. So if you enjoy, then feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. Do what you want. I can't tell you what to do. My socials are down below, as well as the link to the movie so you can watch it yourself and form your own thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you think if you decide to watch it. Next week we will cover a new random horror movie and see where that takes us. Thank you one more time for watching. Stay safe and spooky, y'all.